Hello. Welcome to Of the People Live, coming to you from New Hampshire the day after, or should we say the morning after, even though it's the afternoon. It still feels like the morning after. So we have a primary, and I feel like I'm hungover. And there's nothing worse than feeling like you're hungover without doing the drinking or the work to actually be hungover. But there's been so much going on here, and I stayed up late, and the pundits and the talking heads, the thing I don't understand. So Trump has a historic night in New Hampshire. Most votes ever in a primary, wins by double digits. And yes, there was this outlying poll of 22%, but I'm an old political guy. It was always going to be 12 to 15%, and that includes all the crossover votes. But you have all these pundits who just came in and Trump had a bad night and he wasn't presidential and all of those other things. And yet no one focused on Nikki Haley. And she got out early because she was smart. I give her that. But she also scorched earth, went after him for his age, went after him for dementia or senior moments, right? But here's the thing that no one's talking about. When Cortez, to give a history example, Cortez, who took out the Aztec culture, right? Spanish conquistador, lands in America. What does he do? He burns the ships, which basically tells his people, we're going forward, you can't go backwards. Nikki Haley's acceptance speech, or her victory speech really, was burning the ships, as opposed to getting out, which probably was the right thing to do. She's going to go forward and get scorched in South Carolina, and everybody knows this. So at the end of the day, folks, get over it. Trump's the nominee. We're going to go forward as a party. And that was never really in question. I give Nikki Haley credit. I respect her. I think she's done a good job. But the other issue here is when you listed all the pundits, no one wants to let Trump be Trump, right? You got to let Trump be Trump. I grew up outside of Queens in New Jersey, and I knew a lot of people from Queens, and they all sound like that. They sound, some braggadocio, a little bit of a bully. That's Queens for you. That's a New York state of mind if you don't know what that is, right? But I think the people are missing the point. We talk about unity, and I don't think people want unity. What people really want is leadership, right? And leadership, warts and all, is Donald Trump. You don't have to like some of the mean tweets that he used to put out, or some of the things that he says. But folks, ask yourself, are your groceries less than they were 4 years ago? Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Is the border more secure? Is oil prices down? Is there peace in the Middle East? Elections have consequences. Trump has a historic victory, and yet you have the Main Street media, the establishment, who clearly took a shellacking last night, and all they're talking about is Trump. And let's be candid here. I have never seen a politician take the incoming fire over years and years that Donald Trump has taken and still keep fighting. And let's remember this. They bugged his headquarters. There was the infamous P tape in Russia that turns out to be false. There was Russiagate. There's this plethora of litigation, most all motivated, as I can tell, politically. And just because there's an indictment here or there, I forget who said it, but what's the expression? A grand jury would indict a ham sandwich. Right? And all it does is make Trump stronger. And rightfully so, because this is about America, and this is about the America that we all want. And right now, the only one who's talking the talk and walking the walk is Donald Trump. So when you look at New Hampshire, you have to understand that a double-digit victory, the most votes ever, and I think he's won the New Hampshire primary 3 times, is historic. Let's see it for what it is, regardless of what the mainstream media tells you. He did miss an opportunity perhaps to be more unifying or more presidential. I think that's what people want. But now we're going to go on with the primary, and the only real question is there's going to be the Veep stakes. Who is the VP? Does Nikki Haley stay in long enough to be the VP because she amasses a certain number of electoral votes? Doubtful, possible, inside straight kind of a play. She's certainly not going to be the nominee. What gets even more interesting is the third party possibilities, because, again, I'm told that sometime either before or after Super Tuesday, we thought it was going to be after New Hampshire, you're going to see Joe Manchin and Chris Christie announce a third-party run under no labels, right? Whether they win or not, I don't think they win, but here's the strategy, which we've talked about on a prior show. if they can prevent someone from getting 270, it goes to the House. Look up Article 12 of the U.S. Constitution. If you don't get a majority, you go to the House. And I think what they're banking on, because the last time this happened was 1824, you had Andrew Jackson in the lead. You had Crawford. I forget the gentleman's first name, and you had John Quincy Adams. So it goes to the House of Representatives, and each state gets one vote. That's it. And it's only amongst the three leading vote getters who are under consideration. So the math has to be, if we can force it to the House, because this is a divided country, and let's be honest, we know who they are, will do anything to prevent Donald Trump from being president again. The thought process has to be, force it to the House where no one gets the majority of 270 electoral votes needed, and then you're going to have Democrats who will cross over, or Democratic states, if you will, who will vote for a third candidate that is not Joe Biden, even though he won't be the nominee, or not Donald Trump. Therefore, the Manchin Christie or Christie Manchin ticket becomes viable. I realize that is a far-fetched possibility, but it certainly is a possibility to me. So we're done with the primary. Donald Trump is the nominee, but this is going to take a few tosses and turns from here.